Hey, what's going on, Bonita Springs? Serve teams, groups, group leaders, coaches. Hey, I am so honored to serve alongside of you in Bonita Springs with Next Level Church, and I'm excited about these Leadership Devos. This is the first of many. This one is coming from Matthew chapter 13, verse 44. This is Jesus talking about the kingdom of heaven as a hidden treasure. He says the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he went, hid it again, sold all that he had, and he bought the whole field. I love this man's reaction to finding this hidden treasure. He became an owner of the field and not a renter. And what that means is he became an owner of the rocks, the dirt, and all of the rights of mining that treasure out of the field. The rights to all of the hard work that it takes to dig that treasure out. Well, listen, there is a treasure in serving. There's a treasure in being a part of a life-giving church like Next Level. But we've got to be an owner when it comes to ministry and not just a renter. Think about how you own your car versus the last car that you rented. If there was something wrong with that car rental, you probably just took it back to the car rental agency and got another one. But when you have a challenge with your car, you own it. You are going to invest your time, your resources, and yourself into making certain that there's a safe and enjoyable driving experience for your family. Well, that's what we want for you and your ministry as well. We want an enjoyable experience for you. Well, the only way to do that is to become an owner and not a renter. And here's what we mean. We mean that to be an owner in ministry, that means that God wants you to be known, loved, and challenged. That's the treasure in serving, that you would be known, loved, and challenged to being all that you can be in Jesus, to being a fully engaged follower of Jesus. Well, here are a couple of practical ways that we can be an owner in ministry as opposed to a renter. And here's the first big category. It's people. It's going all the way with people. We want you to have an ownership mentality when it comes to the people on your teams and the people that you serve with the people that you serve. Here's what I mean. We care more about you as an individual than what you can do. Your role might be to greet people at the door or hand out connection cards or teach kids. Well, we care about that, but we care more about you as an individual. So here's a practical way that you can live that out on your teams. Well, number one, we want you to communicate with one another. We want you to communicate, and when you communicate, we want you to communicate about more than just the schedule or what's going on in your ministry. We want you to communicate about the highs and lows of your week. We want you to communicate about your background so you can get to know one another. We want you to communicate about how you can pray for one another, how you can encourage one another. That is the way to being known. Communication. Communication is two-way. That means coaches, we want you to reach out to your teams, but teams, we want you to respond to your coaches because they just want to know you. They want you to be known. The second way is to be loved, and I think about a great way of being loved. That's gathering together. We want you to gather together, not just on Sundays. We want you to gather together so that you can get to know and love one another. There's nothing like proximity. So, hey, coaches, are you gathering together your teams? Hey, team members, are you responding to these gatherings? Are you going out for ice cream? Are you going out for pizza? Are you going out for coffee? We want you to gather together because it's so much more about what you do. It's about you. We want you to be known. We want you to be loved. And finally, we want you to be challenged. Yeah, we want you to be challenged to being all that you can be in Jesus because there's a treasure. In order to be challenged, we have to open ourselves up to being challenged. That means we've got to be teachable. It means we've got to be vulnerable. It means we have to be willing to communicate what's going on in our lives with one another, with our peers, as well as with our coach, so that we can know you, love you, and challenge you. We want you to be owners and not renters because there's a treasure in serving. We love you. See you soon.